Hi friends, in this video, let us ponder on how our kids are coping with exam results. Yes, this was very disturbing to see many disappointed. Most of them say, "My feelings, oh, don't worry about those. No one else does." Is that so? You know, when your mind is disturbed, you're disturbed everywhere. Yes, now, our children who got the exam results are so disheartened and they are full of fear and doubt. So, what do we do? Just quietly watch them silently, or should we ponder on what best we can do and how we can help them? But let's understand and let's tell them failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of success. Yes, my dear children, failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. One of the kids told me, feeling the most disturbed inside, not knowing where life is taking her, and just pretending to smile through the pain because there is no other option right now. Should we leave them just like that? Or should we handhold them? Now, let's understand education. What is it? Which has brought life to a standstill for many. Well, education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs only to the people who prepare for it today. Is that so? Nelson Mandela says education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. But are the exam results and the education really changing them to change the world? On the contrast, Aristotle says educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. But in our education system, are we educating our heart? What is education? Education means knowledge, values, skills, critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. In schools, Bloom's taxonomy is followed: create, evaluate, analyze, apply, understand, and remember. But are we giving chance to our kids to create, or are we creating just machines? Very well. The role of education is to bring awareness in the society, get rid of superstitious beliefs, improvement in health, income, and security, develop a positive attitude in society, bring peace and prosperity, key to success. Do you think this is what education is doing to our kids? If so, then why are our kids not happy with the education system and the exam results? Let's get back to that era where we were all under the British rule. Did the British really wanted to educate Indians? British government wanted the education system to be useful to the needs of the colonial empire. This is the reason. And they really never wanted to educate the Indians, but only for their own desire. They wanted to create a class of persons, Indian in blood and color, but British in taste, opinion, morals. This class would be loyal to the British and believe in their provincial mission in India. This would also ensure a cheap supply of clerks holding subordinate position in British administration. It was believed that teaching of English literature would make Indians aware of English glories and acquaint them with superior English culture. This would make Indians understand their inferior position and hence justify British rule. And what were the education policies in India under the English East India Company? The British came to India as traders and set up English medium schools through which they taught Western science and literature. The Christian missionaries taught colonial education so that the Indians could be used for doing government clerical jobs. Yes, government clerical jobs. In summary, the British did introduce a system of education in India. Their motivations were often driven by their own interests in maintaining control over the country rather than a genuine desire to uplift the Indian population. The impact of British education in India was a complex mix of fostering loyalty to the empire while also sowing the seeds of independence. Now, how did the British treat the Indians in India? Indians were looked down upon by the British, and Indian culture was treated as inferior to European culture. The British were ethnocentric. Indian workers provided the British with inexpensive, that is, cheap labor, worked long hours, often under terrible working conditions. So, education started off for all such reasons, for all such, because industrialization took place and they wanted cheap labor. How education system started in our country. And well, British deemed our intelligence half of theirs. Then they set the passing marks at 32.5, which was half of 65. Later in 1861, this 32.5% was rounded off to 33%. This is how 33% became the passing marks in India. And we are still following the same. What a pity. The same education system and the same cutoff and the same laborers who just nod their heads in front of their employer and kill the creativity and the talent which we have in our country. Well, is our education system good or bad? Poor quality education is leading to poor learning outcomes in India, ultimately pushing children out of the education system and leaving them vulnerable to child labor, abuse, and violence. Many classrooms continue to be characterized by teacher centered rote learning, corporal punishment, and discrimination. Yes, the school and the teachers make children's life miserable. Is Indian education system hard? The Indian education system is known to be challenging and rigorous, particularly in academic competition. Students are expected to excel in their studies and achieve high marks to secure admission to top colleges and universities. However, the degree of difficulty can vary depending on the individual student's ability, level of preparation, and the particular subject or course. What are the major issues of education today in India? Today's major issues facing education in India include access and equity, quality and relevance, teacher shortages, and quality funding, infrastructure, and greater emphasis on vocational training and practical skills. Yes, these issues have contributed to a skills gap in the workforce and hindered India's ability to keep pace with a rapidly evolving global economy. Don't you think, friends? This is true. One of the major disadvantages of education system is standardization. Yes, standardized testing and curriculum can limit creativity and critical thinking skills. Don't you think it is hindering our kids' creativity and out of the box thinking? Well, other disadvantages are inequality. The education system can perpetuate socioeconomic disparities, with students from lower income families and certain minority groups often receiving lower quality education. The cost of higher education has risen significantly in recent years, making it difficult for some students to afford. Yes, it's a business now. Education is not holy anymore, it's only profit and loss game. Limited life skills. The education system may not adequately prepare students for real world challenges such as budgeting, time management, and interpersonal communication. What do you say about this? Please do comment in the comment section. We are all thinking bodies. What is wrong with Indian education system? The Indian education system faces several challenges identified by various stakeholders, and one of the major issues is the prevalence of rote learning and an exam centric culture. Yes, exam centric culture. This approach to education puts too much emphasis on memorization and does not encourage creativity or critical thinking. Another problem is the outdated curriculum and teaching methods that are not aligned with the needs of modern society. There's a lack of practical, hands on learning opportunities and a shortage of trained teachers who can deliver quality education. There's more to it. Mental health. The pressure to perform academically can take a toll on students' mental health and well being. Outdated teaching methods. Traditional teaching methods may not be engaging or effective for all students, particularly those who learn differently. Lack of emphasis on occasional education. Many education systems focus on academic education rather than occasional education, which can lead to lack of job opportunities for those who are not academically inclined. Many of our kids could relate very well with the article published in the Indian Express on May 15th by Abhijit Pathak. Yes, CBSE board results out. Why I won't celebrate the toppers. Definitely find this article and please read it once, twice, thrice until you understand. Each one of us, we should read this article. Let me quickly take you through an extract from the same article. This is violence that manifests itself in the form of mental agony and even suicidal tendencies among those who fall to win this rat race. It's high time we began to rethink the purpose of education. Possibly, the fundamental objective of libertarian education is to encourage the learner to know and unfold his or her unique traits and aptitudes and find joy and meaning in the domain of work. However, when schools fail to see anything beyond the official curriculum and want only standardized, market friendly, and disciplined products, many creative minds begin to see themselves as outsiders. Possibly, some of the students who have not done well in the board exam have immense potential in the domains schools are not interested in, say in creative art. Don't you think, my dear friends, there is truth in this article? Well, what is the dark side of education system in India? Within India's highly competitive education system, the pursuit of top grades and entrance exam scores is akin to a high-stake game, leaving students grappling with anxiety attacks, low self-confidence, depression, and tragically suicidal tendencies. And this is what we offer our kids. This is why we parents nurture them, but nurture or kill their creativity and kill them. It is a very sad story that we have so many suicides after the exam results. Well, let me also bring to you the learning styles, the different learning styles our kids have. Visual learners, auditory learners, kinesthetic and read or write learners, learning by reading and writing. When we have children with different learning styles, then why don't we have exams based on the same? Why are they not evaluated based on their strengths? I'm sure you have seen the cartoon which aims to lambast our education system by showing a line of different animals being ordered to climb that tree as a standardized assessment tool. For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. Yes. You know, our education system is as such, and what a pity it is. Well, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Yes, this is what we are creating. And should we do this? Isn't it so unfair to our kids who have still not enjoyed their share of joys, who has not experienced their life, their love, their emotions, They have not identified their strengths and they have not worked on their strengths. But what is our system doing? What are we doing to our kids? Well, what is the importance of the analogy of a fish climbing a tree? This phrase, you can't teach a fish how to climb a tree, is often attributed to Albert Einstein and is a powerful metaphor for the fact that we all have different strengths and weaknesses. Yes, we are all different and we have different strengths and different weaknesses. It highlights that we should expect everyone to have a different approach to problem solving or the same strengths as us. It's not about what other people think of you that matters. It is what you think of yourself. If they want to leave, let them. If they push you away, go. You won't put on this earth to convince anyone of your worth. You're here to learn, to create, flourish, live, spread love, and nourish. The ones deserving of you will always make you feel appreciated. And this is what we should ingrain in our children's minds and heart. Yes. Because a few years back, when we all cleared our exams, there was not so much of social pressure from the society. Now everybody is asking for the results, which I think only the child has to know his or her results. It was she who has worked, and it is only who she was in that shoes, and nobody can else be. And who are we to judge someone else? How to solve Indian education system? Increase investment in education. The government needs to increase investment in education to improve the quality of education and make it more accessible to all. Reform the education system. The education system in India needs to be reformed to make it more relevant to the needs of the 21st century, and definitely the exams. As I said earlier, kids have different learning styles. So the examination also should be conducted based on their learning styles and give equal weightage to all, so that there is fair practice and fair exams for everyone. What are the ways to improve the education system in India? To ensure that the country's education system remains at its best, we can use several innovative approaches such as modernizing the curriculum, integrating technology into classrooms, improving teacher training, and focusing more on skill-based learning. Well, in which country is education free? How many countries have free education? In several countries worldwide, education is provided free of charge. The exact number can vary, but Nordic countries like Finland, Norway, Sweden, and Germany are well known for their tuition free education systems. And why don't we apply the same in our country? We can start by focusing on the skill development of the students. The schools and colleges must not only focus on the ranks and grades but on the analytical and creative skills of children. In addition, subjects must not be merely taught theoretically but with practical knowledge. And the country which has no exams, Finland. Finland is the country with no exams and is also the most happiest country on the earth. So let's judge less. Love more. Yes, judge less and love more. Let's live and allow others also to live happily and peacefully, not pressurizing them to study and for the exam results. There should be a change in the education system and the way it is evaluated. Please think about it. Thank you.